ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
So, we discussed about how the current EMF is induced, how the current is induced due to the variation of the magnetic field, and what is the change in flux also we discussed about that. Now come to the situation, what is the magnitude of the induced EMF? What is the magnitude of the induced EMF? Of course we know that due to the variation of the magnetic field, EMF must be induced. We know that. So based on that experiment, that is very clear about that. But what is the amount of induced magnetic field? What is the amount of induced EMF and current? So that's we have to calculate. So that is based on Faraday's laws of electromagnetism. Faraday's laws of electromagnetism. Faraday's laws of electromagnetism. So that is the situation. First law, Faraday's first law. What is Faraday's first law? So first law is an EMF is induced due to the variation of the magnetic field, and this EMF exists as long as the magnetic field varies. This is the first law of Faraday's first law. An EMF is induced due to the variation of the magnetic field or due to the relative motion between the coil and the magnet. Previously we discussed already, or due to the relative motion between the two coils, and one coil is connected to the battery and one coil is connected to the galvanometer, in that situation also. But an EMF is induced due to the variation of magnetic field, and this EMF exists as long as the magnetic field varies. So that means how much time the magnetic field varies, during the time the EMF exists. If the variation of the magnetic field is stopped, so that means the magnetic field does not varies, then what happens? If the magnetic field does not varies, then what happens? Magnetic field does not varies, EMF also does not produced, EMF also does not induced. So that is the first law of Faraday's first law. So just exactly converse of moving charges and magnetism, opposite, that is exactly. So that is exact reversible process, just like that. Due to the variation of the current, magnetic field creates. Due to the variation of the magnetic field, current also produced. So just like that. So second law, Faraday's second law here. What is second law? Second law. Here the magnitude of the the magnitude of the induced EMF is equal to the magnitude of the induced EMF is equal to negative rate of change of magnetic flux. The magnitude of the induced EMF is equal to the negative rate of change of magnetic flux linked with that closed surface. That means we can write E is equals to minus d phi by dt. This is the second law of Faraday. E is equals to minus d phi by dt. So where phi is the magnetic flux, the magnitude of the induced EMF is equal to negative rate of change of magnetic flux, minus d phi by dt. d by dt means rate of change of magnetic flux. So this is the induced EMF. What is this negative sign? This can be explained about next one, it is called Lenz's law. Next where we can discuss about this. E is equals to minus d phi by dt. So that is Faraday's laws of electromagnetism. Two laws. Whenever the magnetic flux linked with the surface changes, an EMF is induced. How much time this induced EMF exists? As long as the magnetic field varies. So that is first law. Second law, what is the magnitude of the induced EMF? So we are discussing about an EMF is induced, definitely, no doubt about that. What is that magnitude of EMF? E is equals to minus d phi by dt. This is the induced EMF. So this is the two Faraday's laws, Faraday's first law and Faraday's second law. Now this negative sign must be indicated based on law of conservation of energy. Next we can discuss about this, why this is negative sign here. So let see here next, and we know phi is equals to BAN cos theta. Phi is equals to BAN cos theta. But according to Faraday's second law, E is equals to minus d phi by dt. Therefore, E is equals to minus d by dt of BAN cos theta. E is equals to minus d by dt of BAN cos theta. So this is the induced EMF. And what is phi here? Flux. What is the flux formula? We discussed already, BAN cos theta. B is the magnetic field, A is the area of cross section, N is the number of turns, and theta is the orientation. So E is equals to minus d by dt of BAN cos theta. So this is the induced EMF here. So next, for example, in this situation, due to the variation of the magnetic field only, due to the variation of the area of cross section, or due to the variation of the orientation, how the EMF is induced. See here. For example, first application in this, if A, N and cos theta are constant, area of cross section, area of cross section, number of turns and cos theta remains constant. If these three quantities remains constant, then what we can discuss here. So EMF is induced due to variation of EMF is induced due to variation of magnetic field. Due to the variation of magnetic field. Let B1 comma B2 are initial and final magnetic fields. Let B1 comma B2 are the initial and final magnetic fields. Then E can be written as minus A n cos theta. A n cos theta remains constant. So d by dt of it is B2 minus B1. So that means simply we can write it as B2 minus B1 by T. B1 comma B2 are the initial and final magnetic fields. So how the EMF developed here? The EMF is developed due to the only the variation of the magnetic field. So that means the magnetic field varies from B1 to B2 in time t seconds. Magnetic field varies from B1 to B2 in time t seconds. So that's why change in the magnetic field per unit time. So that is EMF is induced. And here instantaneous EMF. Instantaneous EMF E is equals to minus A n cos theta into, so simply it is dB by dt. That is the instantaneous EMF developed. E is equals to minus A n cos theta into dB by dt. Instantaneous EMF developed here. So this is due to A n cos theta remains constant, only the magnetic field varies here. Due to the variation of the magnetic field, how much amount of EMF is developed here. So this is the situation. Now next condition, second application here, if B comma n comma cos theta are constants, B comma n comma cos theta are constants, and that means B n cos theta constant, these three are constant. Then what is the variable thing here? What is the variable thing? Area of cross section. That means EMF is induced due to variation of area of cross section. Variation of area of cross section. So that means here let A1 comma A2 are initial and final area of cross section. A1 comma A2 are the initial and final area of cross section. Then EMF can be written as minus Bn cos theta into A2 minus A1 by T. So how we can write it is, generally since E can be written as generally induced minus of phi 2 minus phi 1 by T. d phi by dt, d phi in the sense change in flux, final minus initial by t. Final flux can be written as here, phi 2 can be written as B2 A n cos theta and phi 1 can be written as B1 A n cos theta. So if you substitute this in this, we can get this only, minus A n into B2 minus B1 by t. In the same way here, since E can be written as minus of phi 2 minus phi 1 by t, so here phi 2 is equals to B A2 n cos theta, phi 1 is equals to B A1 n cos theta. So phi 2 minus phi 1. If we substitute that, we can get the same. But let us say do this. E is equals to minus of phi 2 minus phi 1 by t, rate of change of flux. Phi 2 can be written as BA2 n cos theta minus BA1 n cos theta divided by t. So that is minus of Bn cos theta common. So that is A2 minus A1 by t. So therefore E can be written as minus Bn cos theta into A2 minus A1 by t. E is equals to minus Bn cos theta into A2 minus A1 by t. So this is the EMF is induced due to the variation of area of cross section. Due to the variation of area of cross section. So instantaneous EMF due to variation of area. Instantaneous EMF E can be written as minus Bn cos theta into so dA by dt. Instantaneous EMF. So after certain time, initial area is A1, final area is A2, after certain time is mentioned, then we can do this. But instantaneous EMF can be written as Bn cos theta into dA by dt minus Bn cos theta into dA by dt. So this is the second application. Next, third one in this is so third application is, now here we discussed about variation of B and A. Next variation of n, number of turns. But in the middle of the experiment, it is not possible to vary the number of turns. It is not possible to vary the number of turns. So that's why variation of number of turns is not possible. So next. Here if B comma A comma N are constant, B comma A comma N are constant, then EMF is induced, due to variation of orientation of the coil. If B comma A comma A, B comma A comma N are constant, B, A, N are constant, then EMF is induced. The EMF is induced due to the orientation of the coil. So first, if theta 1 if the coil position changes from theta 1 to theta 2, if the coil changes from theta 1 position to theta 2 position, therefore let us say phi 1 can be written as Ban cos theta 1 and phi 2 can be written as Ban cos theta 2. So E is equals to minus of d phi by dt, that means phi 2 minus phi 1 by t, variation of flux. So this can be written as E is equals to minus of phi 2. Phi 2 is Ban cos theta 2 minus BAN cos theta 1 divided by T. So that is equals to minus BAN by T into cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. E is equals to. So this is the EMF is induced due to the orientation of the coil. That means the position of the coil changes. That means angle between, position of the coil in the sense angle between magnetic field and aerial vector changes, then the EMF also changes. So initially it is in theta 1, the angle between B bar and A bar is theta 1 initially, and finally it is angle theta 2, then change in EMF. So E is equals to minus BAN by T into cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. So in this situation, instantaneous EMF. What is the instantaneous EMF in this situation? E is equals to minus d by dt of BAN cos theta. So that is minus BAN into, so d by dt of cos theta. But we know theta is equals to omega t, rotation. If the coil is rotating with certain angular velocity, we can write theta is equals to omega t. Then E can be written as minus BAN d by dt of cos omega t. D by dt of cos omega t is minus sin omega t into omega. So minus of minus plus, then E is equals to BAN omega sin omega t. E is equals to BAN omega sin omega t. Simply we can write it as E is equals to E naught sin omega t. So this is the principle of AC generator. Alternating current, AC in the sense alternating current. E is equals to E naught sin omega t, where E naught is equals to BAN omega. So that is maximum possible EMF. Maximum possible EMF. So E is equals to BAN omega sin omega t. So that means here the sine function is the periodic function. Here the sine function is the periodic function. So periodic function in the sense it varies continuously from 0 to 1, 1 to 0, 0 to minus 1, minus 1 to 0. So that means the shape of the graph is like this. So that is, this is E and this is T. This is E naught 0 and this is minus E naught 0. This is T by 4 and this is T by 2. This is 3T by 4 and T. That like this. Sine function for every 1/4 of the time period it must be repeats. It reaches from 0 to maximum and maximum to 0, 0 to negative maximum and reaches to 0. This is the alternating current. This is the principle of AC generator. Later next we can discuss about the topic AC generator, and this is the situation. So how the EMF is produced? What is the magnitude of EMF in different situation? Due to the variation of the magnetic field, due to the variation of the area of cross section, due to the variation of the orientation of the coil. So that is EMF is induced. So this is the different situation and different cases. And remember this concept, further topics this will be useful. E is equals to BAN sin omega t. Let's do some problems based on this. Electromagnetic induction 227. See here, page number 231. Page number 231. The magnetic flux through a coil perpendicular to its plane is varying according to the equation phi is equals to phi t cube plus 4t square plus 2t minus 5. Calculate the induced current through the coil at t is equals to 2 seconds. The resistance of the coil is 5 ohms. So before going to this, once we can discuss about what is induced current and what is induced charge, everything. Let us say, we discussed already induced EMF. E is equals to minus d phi by dt. E is equals to minus d phi by dt. So that is according to second law of Faraday's second law. But what is E? EMF. EMF is nothing but the potential. We can write it as V is equals to IR. But here we are considering the letter small e. So from this we can write IR is equals to minus d phi by dt, then I is equals to minus 1 by R into d phi by dt. So this is the induced current. I is equals to minus 1 by R into d phi by dt, induced current. But and still we know I is equals to dq by dt. So from this I can be written as dq by dt is equals to minus 1 by R into dq by dt, sorry, d phi by dt. So dt cancels. So dq is equals to minus d phi by R. E is equals to minus d phi by dt. E is equals to minus d phi by dt. I is equals to minus 1 by R into d phi by dt, and dq, this is the induced charge, induced EMF, induced currents, induced charge. So that means induced, based on this we can say that induced EMF does not depends on resistance of the circuit. Induced EMF does not depends on resistance of the circuit, because E is equals to minus d phi by dt. E is equals to minus d phi by dt. There is no resistant term here. There is no resistance term. That's why we can clearly say that induced EMF does not depends on resistance. Induced EMF does not depends on resistance. Next point here. Time variation. the variation of flux is quickly and slowly. Two situations. Variation of the flux is quickly and slowly. So, in case of quick condition, what happens? Variation of the flux, and the flux variation is constant. What is the amount of flux in this situation? The flux is constant, variation of flux is constant, but it is quickly or slowly. Quickly or slowly. In quick condition, induced EMF is more, and according to this, induced current is also more, but induced charge constant. Induced charge remains constant. That means if the variation of the flux, or if you move the magnet slowly or fastly towards the coil, here one coil is there, one coil, if you move the magnet towards the coil or away from the coil, that means variation of the flux either fastly or slowly. Variation of the flux is fastly or slowly. In that situation, EMF depends on time, current also depends on time, but charge does not depends on time. So that's why the charge remains constant. Slowly, slow condition. So induced EMF is less and induced charge is also less. Induced charge is also less, but induced current, induced current is also less, and induced charge remains constant, because charge does not varies with time. Here the charge does not, if the charge varies with time, that is called current. That's why here the charge does not varies with time. So this is the situations: induced EMF, induced current, induced charge. So how these varies with how these quantities varies due to the variation of the flux. How these quantities varies due to the variation of the flux. How these quantities varies due to quick position and slow position. So quick variation of the flux and slow variation of the flux, like that. Next. Now let us do the problems. Page number 231. Example. The magnetic flux through a coil perpendicular to its plane varies according to the relation phi is equals to phi t cube plus 4t square plus 2t minus phi. Calculate the induced current through the coil at t is equals to 2 seconds. The resistance of the coil is phi. We know E is equals to minus d phi by dt. Let us say minus d by dt of phi is phi t cube plus 4t square plus 2t minus phi. So minus of d by dt of phi t cube, phi into t cube, so that is 3t square plus 4 into d by dt of t square, 2t plus 2. Differentiation of constant is 0. So minus 15t square plus 8t plus 2. At t is equals to 2 seconds, E at t is equals to 2 seconds, minus of 15 into 2 square plus 8 into 2 plus 2. So that is equals to 2 square 4, 15 4s are 60 plus 16 plus 2 minus 78. That is the induced EMF. Current can be written as EMF by resistance. 78 magnitude we have to consider. 78 divided by resistance is 5 ohms. 5 ones are 28. 15.6 amperes. 15.6 amperes. That is the current produced. Next example. A circular coil of 500 tons of wire has an enclosed area of 0.1 meter square per ton. Area of cross section is given as 500, number of turns are given as 500. Area of cross section is 0.2. Number of turns is equals to 500. Area of cross section is 0.1. Kept perpendicular to the magnetic field of induction 0.2 Tesla. B is equals to 0.2 Tesla. This is meter square is given. And rotated by 180 degrees about a diameter perpendicular to the field in 0.1 second. How much charge will passes when the coil is connected to the galvanometer with the combined resistance of 50 ohms. Resistance is given as 50 ohms and time is given as 0.1 second. Now we have to calculate charge. First we write what are the terms given in the problem. Number of turns, area, magnetic field, resistance, T. What we have to find out? Induced charge. Induced charge. Now it is kept perpendicular to the magnetic field of induction. Circular coil is placed perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. So that means this is the direction of the magnetic field and this face of the coil is like this. The face of the coil makes an angle 90 here. So that means, but this is the direction of aerial vector. So that means B bar and A bar must be in the same direction here. B bar and A bar must be in the same direction. Initial angle is 0. So theta is equals to 0, theta 1, and theta 2 is rotates to an angle 180 degrees. Rotates to an angle 180 degrees. So that means change in flux delta phi is equals to phi 2 minus phi 1. So that is BAN cos 180 minus BAN cos 0. Cos 180 minus 1 minus BAN and it is also minus BAN. So minus 2 BAN. So now we have to calculate induced charge. Q is equals to minus d phi by r. It is independent of time. Amount of charge induced is independent of time. So phi minus of minus 2 BAN divided by r. So Q is equals to 2 BAN divided by r. 2 into B is 0.2, area is 0.1, number of turns 550. So 50 tens are 10 into 0.11, 2 into 2 0.4. The charge is 0.4 coulombs, like that. So first the face of the coil placed perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field. That means here aerial vector and magnetic field must be in the same direction, and then it rotates to an angle 180 degrees. That means theta 2 is equals to 180. Based on that we calculated the change in flux and then charge induced. Next. So next example here. Some magnetic flux is changed from a coil of resistance 10 ohms. Resistance is given as 10 ohms. Some magnetic flux is changed. As a result, an induced current is developed in it. Definitely induced current is developed in it. Which varies with time as shown in the diagram. What is the magnitude of change in flux through the coil? So the given as, so this is current and this is time. It is given as, this is the shape of the graph. So here it is 4 and it is 0.1. So the graph is given, yes, the graph is given. Now we have to find change in magnetic flux. We have to find change in magnetic flux. So that's we have to find out. So how can we calculate that? So first in this situation, this is the graph between current and time. In this graph, current and time, the product of current time exists or division exists? Product of current time or division and current time generally. We know I is equals to Q by T, or Q can be written as IT. Q can be written as IT. So based on this, what we can write? The area under current and time, area under and current and time graph gives charge. Area under current and time graph gives charge. So first calculate the area for this. What is the shape? Triangle shape. So area is equals to half into base into height. Half into, what is the base here? Time is 0.1, height is 4. So that is equals to 0.2 area is. So that means from this, what is the charge we got? Charge is equals to 0.2 coulombs. And we know charge is equals to change in flux divided by resistance. Negative change in flux divided by resistance. So that is, from this, change in flux is equals to Q into R. So minus delta phi is equals to Q is 0.5 and the resistance is given as 10. So that is, change in flux is 2, maybe increase or decrease. Change in flux is equals to how much we got? 2. What is the unit? Weber. Unit is also important. Negative rate of change of flux, negative change not rate, negative change in flux is equals to 2 Weber. So this is the way to do the first here. What is the given condition? There is a graph between current and time. Graph between current and time. Area under current and time graph gives, area under current and time graph gives what? Charge. So charge we calculated. And we know charge is equals to minus delta phi by R. So delta phi is equals to Q into R. Resistance is given as 10. So that is equals to 0.2 Weber. Sorry, 2 Weber it is. So this is the way to do the problem. Next problem, next example. A long solenoid with 1.5 turn per centimeter has a small loop of area 2 centimeter square placed inside the solenoid normal to its axis. Placed inside a long solenoid with G 1.5 turn per centimeter has a small loop of area placed inside the solenoid normal to its axis. The current in the solenoid changes steadily from 2 amperes to 4 amperes in 1 second. The EMF is induced in the loop is long solenoid. So that is number of turns is equals to 1.5 turns per centimeter. That means 1.5 turns divided by 10 power minus 2 meter. So 1.5 into 10 to the power of 2 turns per meter converts into meters. And area of cross section, small loop area is given as how much it is? 2 centimeter square, that is equals to 2 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter square. So now what is the current changes it is? What is the magnetic field associated with the long solenoid? That is mu naught Ni. Magnetic field associated with the long solenoid is equals to mu naught Ni. So then EMF is equals to minus d phi by dt. What is the EMF induced? Minus d phi by dt. So minus d by dt of phi is equals to, we know, Ba. So and minus d by dt of B is mu naught Nia. So this is a solenoid. Magnetic field must be produced in the solenoid. That's why no need to consider total number of turns. So this is minus mu naught Na into di by dt. So that is E is equals to mu naught is 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7. N is 1.5 into 10 square and area of cross section is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 4 into di by dt. Current varies from 2 amperes to 4 amperes in 1 second. That means I2 minus I1 by T. Let us say it is minus 4 pi into 1.5 into 2 is considered as 3 into 10 to the power of minus 9. I2 4 minus 2 by 1 2. 12 to is 24 pi into 10 to the power of minus 9. Minus 24 pi into 10 to the power of minus 9. So this is the magnetic field associated with this, EMF induced. So this is the situation.